Welcome back to the channel. My name is Usman. Today I'm going to be doing a review on one of the oldest cigars I currently own, and that is the Diplomatico No.1 cigar. This cigar is the same size as the Monte Cristo No.1, 6.5 inches long, 42 ring gauge. However, these were discontinued all the way back in 2006. So there is a chance that this cigar is potentially 20 years old, potentially even more. I'm not sure exactly what the box date is for this cigar, but it was kindly given to me by Ray. So Ray, if you're watching this, huge thank you for this cigar. I've smoked one of these before and I thought that I'd do a review on this because it is a beautiful, beautiful cigar. And a lot of people, something that I heard from a few people is that Diplomaticos as a brand was just a rebadged Monte Cristo. So for a long time, the Diplomaticos No.2 and the Diplomaticos No.1, they were just the No.1 and No.2 for Monte Cristo rebadged. However, this one was discontinued back in 2006. So if that is correct, if it is the case that the Diplomatico was just a rebadged Monte Cristo, then I can tell you from experience, Monte Cristo cigars age incredibly well. They're one of the best cigars when it comes to aging, so I'm definitely in for a treat in this one. But before I jump the gun and start telling you what I think of this cigar, let's cut this, light this, and get straight into this review. Moving past the first inch on this cigar, and I have to say, the flavor notes are incredible. This is an impeccable cigar, like holy wow. You know, with some cigars, when you age them for longer than 10 years, they can start to lose their profile, their flavor, their kind of essence. You know, it just becomes overaged and then they don't taste like anything. This cigar is not one of those. This is gorgeous, like just incredible, the flavor note. So immediately, first puff, hit of cream, like cream and vanilla. There was this sweetness to it. It just came straight in and it was beautiful. It then, like, after the first few puffs, it went into this really savory, peppery, meaty flavor right on the top, but then this really firm, creamy hit on the bottom. The vanilla faded, that creamy hit just stayed, and then it's got this sweet aftertaste. It's like lunch and dessert. Like, honestly, this cigar, this is a complex cigar. I was not expecting it to be this good, considering how aged it is. But some cigars, especially, you know, Monte Cristo cigars and this one, I mean, technically it might be a Monte Cristo cigar, but let's just call it a Diplomatico cigar. This cigar, you know, there are some cigars that even after 15 years worth of age, they're just gorgeous. And this is one of them. And, you know, I've said this before and I'm going to say it again, but Cuban cigars, there's something magical about a really nicely aged Cuban cigar. I think it's incredibly difficult to beat a nicely aged Cuban cigar, and this is definitely one of them. The only downside or the only problem that I'm noticing for some, not for me because I like this kind of construction, is that this is really heavily packed, like ridiculously heavily packed, to a point that some people may consider it to be a bit of a struggle. For me, I love the draw on this. It is a tough draw, but I love that. I like a cigar with a tough draw because, in my opinion, those cigars, they tend to burn a little bit slower, they tend to have better flavor, and for that reason, I'm enjoying the hell out of this. But just thought I'd mention the fact that it does have a bit of a tough draw. Nonetheless, it is a fantastic start to a cigar. Coming to the halfway point of this cigar, and honestly, it's just getting better and better. This cigar is, I've used this word far too much, but this cigar is incredible. Honestly, this is just wow. Everything about it is gorgeous. The flavor notes, beautiful. The burn is pretty much perfect. The draw is exactly the way that I like it. Although, caveat, some people may not like the draw of this particular cigar or cigars such as these, but I love the draw of this cigar. It's exactly the kind of draw that I want in a cigar. It's the perfect cigar, honestly. You know, has virtually no strength whatsoever. I'm a lightweight, so I don't want any strength in a cigar anyway, but it has like super saturated, beautiful flavors. There's this really nice cedary note coming through. There's like a spiciness right on the top, and there's sweetness as well, which is just in the middle, and it's just working so well. I have to say, you know, there are cigars, and then there are cigars. This is a different league kind of cigar. You know, there are so many cigars out there that cost ridiculous amounts of money, and then you smoke them and you're just disappointed. And then you have these regular production, you know, nothing fancy, nothing crazy, straight off the shelf, age them for a little while, and then they just smoke incredible. And this is what I find with so many Cuban cigars. I'm not saying that you need to age them for 20 years before they're good. What I'm saying is there are so many amazing regular production cigars that you can age for a period of time, and they're going to be far superior to most other cigars that are currently available on the market from almost any region. And this is what I love. This is what I adore about when it comes to Cuban cigars. And this is typical. This is just, you know, this is just reinforcing that point. Yeah, this is special. This is definitely special. Coming to the final section of this cigar, and unfortunately there has been some damage to the wrapper leaf because the band was stuck to the wrapper, so when I took it off it caused a bit of damage, and the wrapper leaf has just been peeling away a little bit, so a bit of a shame there. These things tend to happen, you know, occasionally. I mean, honestly, these things happen with many manufacturers. It's not just a Cuban thing. I've experienced this with cigars from all different regions. But still, it's a bit of a shame, and it's a bit of a pain when this happens. It's just really frustrating. But what I have found is that the cigar isn't unraveling, like it's not becoming softer or anything like that. It's not opening up. It's just the wrapper leaf which is tearing up a little bit. So not a major concern. Still tasting incredible. The flavor profile hasn't changed very much. There's still this savory note on the top, but then there's this aftertaste which is quite sweet. And yeah, this cigar is just gorgeous. And you know, I'm going to reiterate my point that I made early on in the video when I was talking about the cigar around the halfway point. And that is that with Cuban cigars, you don't need to necessarily spend a ridiculous amount of money to get an incredible cigar, because sometimes you can buy really nice aged cigars. And at the moment there's an auction running, and I was just, you know, quickly running through the auction on my computer. I was just going through some of the cigars, and there are Diplomatico cigars which are available, and they are less expensive. Like the prices that these cigars are going for are actually less expensive than standard retail here in the UK, but they've got like 20 years worth of age on them. And that to me is just remarkable. Like it's quite wonderful that you can purchase these ridiculously aged, wonderful, amazing cigars for less than retail, and they taste incredible. Like they're just fantastic cigars. So I believe, and I firmly believe, that this is why, for me personally, I normally only smoke regular production cigars. Occasionally, I'll get my hand on certain, you know, limitadas or certain regionals or certain, you know, expensive cigars. But I'm not going out of my way to buy these boxes or anything like that. I'm not spending tens of thousands of pounds on a single box. That's not something that I do. I don't think I'm ever going to do that. But the fact that you can purchase Cuban cigars with lots and lots of age, and in my opinion, those cigars taste far better than many of these super expensive limitadas and anniversario series and whatever, all these like fancy triple band cigars and whatever that you can buy for like ridiculous prices. I think you can spend considerably less buy these aged Cuban cigars through these auctions, and they just taste so much better. Like they are objectively better cigars whatever way you cut it. So yeah, the Diplomatico No.1, I don't think these cigars are crazy expensive when you buy them on auction. I think because I was looking at like a box of 10 Bolivar gold medals, and they're going for like about £500-600. They're a little bit pricey, but the Diplomatico's No.1, it's never been a famous cigar. It's never been like a ridiculously expensive brand. So you could purchase these for significantly less than that. And I'm going to say this is better. This cigar, or cigars like these, are better than most of the crazy expensive Cuban cigars that you can purchase today that don't have any age on them. Now, of course, you could make the argument that those cigars are potentially going to increase in value, so there is an investment angle to them, so that's fair. But I'm talking strictly as someone who's going to purchase cigars and just smoke them, and on that basis, if you're just going to smoke cigars, honestly, you can spend significantly less, buy these aged cigars, and get so much more value for your money, so much better cigars that taste amazing. And yeah, that's my feelings on this matter. Standard production, honestly, you don't need to spend ridiculous amounts on Cuban cigars. Stick to standard production. Just buy them aged, so you don't need to spend years and years trying to age the cigars yourselves, and you end up having something far superior than virtually anything you can pick off the shelf or buy from specialist retailers and whatever. Aged Cubans, honestly, you just can't beat them. Anyway, just want to say thank you so much for watching the video. If you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe, share this video, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Thank you. I talk too much. The cigar's gone out.